to the rock, sing to the tree, sing to the firefly lighting up the sky. Sing, sing to the sea.
Hello, I'm Mary Whelan, and this is the song Voices of Dissent. And today, I am very pleased to present Tom Knight.
The Prince of Lies just got elected. All my friends are terrified. They say freedom is unprotected, and we cannot let it die. Don't get distracted by all the tweeting. We've got better things to do. You and I, we could be leading. It's time to act, speak what's true. Stand and fight, stand and fight. Don't let fear rule our lives. Stand and fight, stand and fight. Come together, make this right. If we want a stronger nation in our hearts, in our towns, make some room for new relations. Don't build a wall, tear it down. Stand and fight, stand and fight. Don't let hate rule our lives. Stand and fight, stand and fight. Come together to make this right. Climate change, abortion rights, Islamophobia, stand and fight. Racism, children's lives, education, stand and fight. Decent wages, healthcare for all, LGBTQ, stand and fight. Women's safety, workers' rights, anti-Semitism, stand and fight. What kind of nation do we want to be? Difference is our strength, not our enemy. We're at the crossroads in our history. Keep your eyes on the prize, our true destiny. Every person is a beacon, a source of love, truth and light. We need your voice to be speaking. Stand with your neighbor, stand and fight, stand and fight, stand and fight. Let love rule our lives. Stand and fight, stand and fight. Come together to make this right. Stand and fight, stand and fight. Let love rule our lives. Stand and fight, stand and fight. Come together to make this right. Come together. Stand and fight. So that was Stand and Fight. I'm not sure what to say about it, except that I felt like I needed to say something about the Trump administration. And I wanted to try and gather people together to kind of come together with find our common values and stand up for what we believe in. So this next song is sort of about something positive. And there was some things going around on Facebook right after the election. People were pretty upset, including me. And some people said, well, this is bad, but in a couple years, we'll have a chance to turn it around because the Democrats, because there will be the midterm elections, and the Democrats will be able to get a majority, possibly get a majority in Congress. So there's something a little hopeful about that. So I wanted to write a song about that, about taking back the House. November 6th, 2018. That is our chance to change up the scene. We need to shift the balance again and show the president that he didn't win. I want to know, can you tell me, are you gonna vote? Let's take back the Congress, rock the House, take back Congress, rock the House. In the Senate, it could be tough, but 3 more seats would be just enough for the Dems to get a majority and fight the president's bad policies. I want to know, can you tell me, are you gonna vote? Let's take back the Congress, rock the House, take back the Congress, rock the House. But in the House, every single seat is up for re-election, so let's turn up the heat. With our votes, we can put the people first and show the world democracy still works. Let's take back the Congress. I know it sounds like a cliche, but if you vote, you could save the day. No more excuses, that won't work anymore. Don't let me come and knock on your door. I want to know, can you tell me, are you gonna vote? Let's take back the Congress, rock the House, take back the Congress, rock the House, rock the House, rock the House, rock the House. Thank you very much. Actually, nobody clapped, so why am I saying that? I don't know. There was a space for clapping, but nothing filled. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. I feel much better. I feel much better now. All right. Well, kicking things around here. Sorry, guys. I need to look at the lyrics of this one. This next song I just finished a couple hours ago, so I'm still learning it. So I need to pay attention to the words. I just started it on Friday, which was, 3 or 4 days ago. So it's very fresh, very raw, but I'm pretty pleased with it. In the history of the world, there's always been someone who were supposed to be the cause of all the problems. In the days of the Roman Empire, Christians were sacrificed. And then when Hitler came along, the Jews paid the price. Today, Mr. Trump says Muslims are to blame. But it's that old scapegoating once again. If I prayed to Allah, would I be your enemy? If I came from Mexico, would you want to deport me? Would you ask me to your house for dinner and a couple drinks if my skin was much darker than a rosy shade of pink. The one we elected says we need a bigger fence to keep out enemies and strengthen our defense. But immigrants have always been a big part of our wealth. Unless you're Native American, then you came from somewhere else. So no wall could be high enough to keep our fear at bay. So why should we turn our friends away? We've had a black man living in the house of white, so you might assume we no longer need to fight. But all the prisons have been filled up with men of black and brown, and how many of our young men have been shot down? To say Black Lives Matter is beyond dispute. Our country has been built on racist roots. If I prayed to Allah, would I be your enemy? If I came from Mexico, would you want to deport me? Would you ask me to your house for dinner and a couple drinks if my skin was much darker than a rosy shade of pink? If my skin was much darker than a rosy shade of pink.
Well, I'm so glad you could come here today, Tom.
Thank you.
It's great to have you back.
It's
You've
great.
been here a couple of times before.
I think this is my fourth.
Whoa! Wow.
Actually, I don't know if we should. I don't know if we should tell people that or
Well,
not, because all the
the
musicians.
show's been on a while, and
Yeah.
this is a new version of it. But we've been on since April of 2012 was when the first show aired. Yeah.
All right.
And I think you came pretty early with Birchie Green.
That's right. That would be 5, I think. No, I don't know. Maybe it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's how I first met you, and then we had you come as
That's
well.
great. Thank you so much for having me on and giving me this venue, giving me this opportunity.
Well, I initially, when I decided to have this version of the song, I thought, well, I would have thought of you as a children's musician, and so I hadn't thought of you as a possible person to have on because it didn't seem to fit the new version.
Yep.
But then I happened to see the video you did for the first song you did today, Stand and
Fight.
And which is wonderful. It's a great video. When I saw that, I said, "Oh wow, I gotta."
Yeah. Well, so that's the thing is that I don't really consider myself a political songwriter, and I haven't been. The last political song I wrote before this batch was like in the 80s. I wrote something about Ronald Reagan, and it was a pretty terrible song actually. I think I kind of quit after that. But with this Trump administration, I kind of felt like I had to do something, and I decided to use the tools that I have, which is my writing, my singing, and my videography, to try to say something, and that feels a lot better than doing nothing.
Yeah, and that video is on YouTube.
Yep.
And you have a YouTube channel with a lot of videos on it.
I do, yeah.
But that one, in a very short period of time, has had thousands of hits already.
Yeah, I think we're up to 3,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
No.
That's great. Yeah. So anyway, and I'm sure there'll be more after a while. So because it's a really, really excellent video.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. And so anyway, so I'm glad that you came. And then I heard from you before the show that you're doing newer songs today, and part of that was because you knew you had to come on the show.
That's right.
And you wanted more than one political song to sing.
That's right. Well, when you invited me, my first thought was I only have like one song, so what can I do? But then I thought, I have a little bit of time. Maybe I can write some new ones. And so this really encouraged me and inspired me to write some new ones because I had different ideas, and so it gave me a deadline in order to to get busy and work on the songs.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Now, I know that even though I've been very much an activist most of my adult life for various causes, haven't done that much writing of songs that are political. Some, and more poetry. And that's why with this version of the show, I'm also encouraging people to do, if they want to do poetry.
Yeah.
And so it'll be, a lot of people doing a combination of music and spoken word. And even if people just want to do spoken word, that's fine too. But anyway.
If I have some poems, I'll think of you.
Yeah.
But most of my poetry is in the song lyrics department. So I've written very few poems, sort of, that stand alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes poems can become song lyrics later on.
Yes.
What ends up happening is that I'm not always satisfied with the poems that become songs.
Oh, okay.
But anyway. I digress. I was very interested in on your website.
Yeah.
And your website is
TomKnight.com.
TomKnight.com. Very easy.
Very easy
to remember.
Yeah.
And it's a really good website too.
Is that coming up on the screen right now? TomKnight.com.
Yeah, probably will. Be at the bottom of the screen. And but anyway, on there you had, because you've gotten a lot of feedback about the Stand and Fight video.
Yeah.
You have an explanation about why you decided you needed to write a song like that, even though you hadn't written anything very political.
Yes.
And you kind of addressed that a little bit earlier, but maybe you could talk a little more about that.
Well, I just really felt I couldn't just kind of be silent. And there's in the Stand and Fight song, the first line, or one of the first lines, is "All my friends are terrified," and that really came from my real experience, that so many people I knew that I was in contact with were just really scared. And I just really felt like I had to try to do something about that. And I was scared too, so I wanted to do something. And that's this, and the song came out. That song actually, I should tell you, it was a very difficult song to write. I think I ended up having about 5 different versions before I finally came up with 4 different melodies. It would really evolved. My first one was just like making fun of Trump, which he's kind of an easy target, so it's easy to do. But then I decided that I really wanted to write something that's more positive and more like, what can we do? And let's get together and fight this thing. And that's where I wanted to put the emphasis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you refer to it as you wanted to have something to be energizing, and inspiring to other people. Yes,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's easy to get like scared or just paralyzed, but I think this is an opportunity to really, just join together. And the March on Washington really showed that. I actually wrote the song and did the video before the March on Washington, but when the Women's March on Washington on January 21st happened, then it around the world too, it really showed that there are a lot of people who really want to come together and fight it, and fight the oppressive administration that we have right now.
Yeah, and I think there were probably people who voted for him who now regret having done so.
I would hope so.
Because it's really, and I heard that, I read that on the Morning Joe show, and he's a conservative Republican, and he really questioned, his sanity, basically.
As any sane person would at this point, question Trump's sanity, because he's seems kind of unbalanced. Yeah.
So, but
anyway.
So you've got some political songs today, and you've got a
partly
couple
thanks
more
to you.
You're gonna do, and I really like the others too. The one you do just before the interview was just really beautiful.
Well, I wanted to. A couple friends of mine are Muslims, actually, and it's been really hard for them in these times when Trump has had a Muslim ban, and I think and there have been a lot of hate crimes against Muslims, and I felt like I wanted to try and address that. So that's kind of how that song started, and then it became more about the different kinds of racism
are happening right now, and a lot of the racism that's coming from the Trump administration that I feel like is just not acceptable, and I wanted to say something about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you're saying something about it, and I'm glad that you're encouraging other artists to do the same kind of thing.
Yeah, in fact, my next song is about partly about the role of artists in our time, and actually the idea is that everybody can have a role to stand up and fight against the injustices, some of the injustices that are happening right now, well, regardless of whether you consider yourself an activist.
Mm-hmm. And I think that everybody can take the time to really think about, well, what are my best skills and talents, and how can I really take on the issues of the times that we live in, and how can I best do that? And I think that that's really important. And I think time too. People don't always feel like they have the time to do stuff, but you spent time writing songs anyway, so you could change the focus of the songs.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I was already doing the show, so now it's a new version of the show.
Yes.
And so people can, if you can find the time, make the time by.
Well, yeah, and there. So this next song is called "Calling All Artists."
Mm-hmm.
It was partly inspired by my yoga teacher, actually, and I was thinking that my yoga teacher actually helps by kind of helping people feel more healthy in their bodies and more relaxed. She's actually contributing to, contributing to helping me actually feel better in order to do the work that I need to do. So there's lots of opportunities for people, whatever their work is, to do something that can benefit the resistance against the oppression of this administration. So you don't necessarily have to go out and march in the streets. You can do something at home, and that can be just as valuable or more valuable.
Right. Now, before you do your next two songs that you're going to do, I just want to remind people that they can get more information about you and your music and other things too. You're a videographer.
That's right.
You're a puppeteer.
Yep.
There's a lot of things you do. You have many talents that people may be interested in.
Well, thank you. Yes, it's true.
So, let's hear the next two songs.
Great. Thank you, Mary.
Bye.
Calling all artists, poets and musicians. We need you now more than ever. Look at the world, tell us what you see. We need your eyes, show us reality. Calling all reporters, journalists and bloggers. We need you now more than ever. Watch our leaders, what they say and do. Help us untangle lies from the truth. Wherever there is darkness, shine a little light. If you see injustice better, stand up and fight. Calling all doctors, therapists and healers. We need you now more than ever. A lot of good people find it hard to cope. Give them some peace, help them find hope. Calling all parents, teachers and guides. We need you now more than ever. Care for the children, keep them safe from harm. It's more than enough just to hold them in your arms. Crisis can give you an opportunity to truly be yourself, be what you're supposed to be. Courage doesn't mean You are free from fear. It's doing the right thing when the right thing is clear. Calling all artists, poets, and musicians. We need you now more than ever. This song is called Peace in 12 Languages, and that's exactly what it is. Pause, pay, please, aren't you kind? Friede, shalom, salam. Amani, sati, pap. Hey, wa, wa, bin. Pause, pay, please, aren't you kind? Friede, shalom, salam. Amani, sati, pap. Hey, wa, wa, bin. Pause, pay, peace.